Good evening, everybody. Welcome to She Said, She Said. It's another Saturday night, and we've got really interesting guests for you tonight. We've featured a lot of different people, from stage actors, singers, politicians, brides of the century, but we've never quite featured grandparents or even great-grandparents. So tonight we'll have Michael and Feli Borromeo. Now, she said that it's so nice that after 65 years of being married, they're still together.
And she said that even after 65 years, they do everything together, like holding hands, going to mass, and even praying the rosary every day.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Michael and Feli Borromeo.
Hello.
Hi, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. It's so nice to have you here. And I'm really happy, like what I said, after 65 years, I don't know if I will ever reach that, to be together with my husband. I was telling Cutie earlier that maybe I should get married when I'm 1 year old so that I have a chance to last for 65 years.
Right. You're turning 65 years on June.
Come June.
On
June of this
Come
year.
June
Wow.
will be 65 years.
Yeah.
Congratulations. So
Thank you.
I'm sure everybody wants to know what the secret is, but what is the secret?
Love each other.
Love.
Love each other, yes.
Love, well-
Love and respect.
Love and
Love and
respect.
respect.
Yes.
Respect is
They go
important.
hand in hand.
Yes. So
How many children do you have? Children.
You count?
that
How many
many?
children?
Eight.
Children.
8 in all.
8?
8 children.
Really?
Okay,
Wait a
and
minute.
Yeah, that's correct.
well, how many did you know?
No. Melanie, Malette, Michael, Marilyn, Marissa,
Yes.
Martin,
Myra.
Myra, Margie.
Margie.
Oh, that's right. That's 8.
Also, you have a child called Martin. That's
Yes.
Yes.
That's nice to
Actually,
know.
two of their they have 2 sons. They have 2 sons and,
And
6
6.
daughters.
Ah.
Both sons have twins for kids.
Really?
Both Michael and Martin have twins.
So,
Yeah.
do you have any uncles or aunts with twins, or you have any siblings that are twins?
Not that I can recall.
What about you, Big Mommy?
I don't think so.
Oh, I don't think so. We were just surprised that they had twins.
Usually they say it comes from the female side of the family. So,
Or, yeah, and they say it comes on the 3rd generation.
yeah, probably so.
Like maybe your uncles and aunts had twins, and then your generation won't have any twins, and,
And then
then
it's
your
skipped.
children.
Probably.
Oh, so no, they just had twins, both the boys.
On your
Ah.
side,
But on my side now,
I don't think so.
yeah.
So,
And neither on my side.
so you didn't grow up. I mean, you didn't grow up here in the Philippines.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You grew up here in the Philippines,
Yes.
in Manila. I'm San Juan. Both of you?
We met in San Juan, yes.
Oh, how did you meet?
Quezon City, first of all.
Yes.
That's, where we stayed, our family. And we were in Film Life Home.
Yes,
isn't
Film
it?
Life.
Oh, no, that was already after we got
We were
married.
already married.
Oh, okay.
How did we meet?
So you grew up in Quezon City, and you were in San Juan. And how did you meet? Were you given a blind date with each other?
Well, one day his car with the driver was passing by, and it was almost drizzling, and he stopped the car and asked me, "Do you want a ride?" Because he was in Ateneo and I was in Philippine Women's.
Yes.
So I said, "Okay, that's good. It will save me taking the bus." So I rode with him. That was the start.
Okay, so did you know each other already when you gave her a
No,
ride?
no.
You didn't know each
Really,
other?
not really. We see each other
Oh.
maybe, but we don't know each other.
And you were in school.
And
So
I
you
would-
were
I
in
would
your-
say not strangely, but quite a good thing that she accepted the invitation.
Yeah, to ride. Well, it was good. It
Yeah.
was drizzling. And
it was,
you were in
yeah.
high school or in college?
Yeah.
What school were you at, they call it.
Philippine women.
You have to,
PWU.
you have to hold the
Philippine
mic
women's.
closer. Yeah.
Yes.
And Big Daddy, you were.
I was in Ateneo de Manila.
Okay,
Oh,
but
that's
Ateneo
not close
was
to each
where?
other.
Padre Faura,
Ah,
Oh, okay.
and PWU was in
Taft Avenue.
Taft also. Ah,
Yeah.
I
Right.
see. So what happened in the car? You talked to
Oh,
each
nothing
other?
naughty.
No,
No, the
they
naughty
dropped me.
things
They
happened.
dropped me at Philippine women.
So they dropped you off
Yeah,
first.
And
that was
then?
the start of our friendship, maybe. But actually, it was during the Japanese time.
Yes.
When we were asked, we were doing nothing, idle. The young ones saw. They asked me and my best friend to go to Michael Borromeo's house and invite him to be a member of our Thorns and Roses Club.
Thorns and Roses.
What kind of club was that?
Dancing.
Oh, really?
We were idle, so we have to do something, isn't it? So we were dancing, enjoying.
You would
ourselves.
dance with each other, not with instructors?
No, with each
No, there
other.
were no instructors.
With each
back
other.
We
then.
didn't need anybody to
Oh,
teach us.
okay.
At that time.
So there were enough men and women to be
Yes.
paired together and to dance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ah, so
Actually, I believe that it was a neighborly organization that they put up, and they called it Thorns and Roses because they intended to have the members just dance with each other every time that an opportunity arises to have a party.
So you would practice every so often?
Yes.
So every week you would meet together in a house, or
Oh, we had
Did you have-
different homes to go to.
Yeah.
and the
we-
homes were big
That's
enough.
right.
I mean, the homes now are not so big, right?
We just have meetings, and then if we decide on having a dance, with Chong, I don't know if you remember that, it's a big place owned by the Chongs. It's called Villa Chong, and we
Villa Chong.
usually have our dance there. It's a
What-
big place.
Do you want to tell them what happened when Big Daddy first visited you and you were with Aurora? About his car?
Yeah. One time, my friend and I were by the window, watching the things go by, pass by the buses, and then I saw him pass by with his driver, and then there was a canal. Our place is by the market, and,
Yes.
and he was driving, and
I was learning to drive.
Oh, okay.
one of his wheels, I think, went into the canal, but nothing happened. I said,
Uh-huh.
"Oh, good on you, Mistizo." I said.
She said,
Yeah.
buti nga sa mistizong yan.
Was that after he gave you a ride or before?
After.
After. Oh.
After.
Maybe.
Maybe
or
after,
before.
'cause how did
Maybe
you know where she
before.
lived?
Maybe before.
Maybe
But
before.
We
I
didn't
should
know
be
each
thankful.
other yet
Yeah,
at
I
that
should be
time.
thankful he gave me a ride.
So
I would
after
say
that, he
yeah.
was not buti nga sa'yo.
Yeah.
But maybe that was a sign because you noticed him. See?
Well, yeah, how long did it take before you actually got together? Like from the time you gave her a ride to school, and when did you start dating after that?
That was already the war time. So,
That was during the war.
Yeah, that's why
So-
we were really drawn to each other because of the Thorns and Roses Club.
Ah, okay.
Nothing
So
to do.
what happened? So you're together, and then are there telephones? You ask for each other's number, or
No.
you just know the address?
No,
Maybe you
no.
brought her home so you would know where she studied and where she lived.
Yeah, that is the modern time, but at that time,
So how do you do it? How did you
no,
do it before?
direct contact.
Oh.
You just have to go
So you
there.
just go to the house, and usually they're home.
Actually, I can't remember exactly the details, but I wanted to develop our friendship.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't waste any time.
Good for you.
Actually, they got married right away. And who was the priest that married you?
Father.
Well, in my childhood,
Yes.
I was a sacristan,
Oh.
right?
Yes.
At the San Marcelino Church
Yes, yes,
in Ermita.
yes,
They called it a Padres Paulis Church.
yes.
Padres Paulus?
Padres Paulis.
Father Paul, yeah.
Father Paul.
This is in Adamson University.
Yeah, which is
Adamson.
now the
Adamson,
Adamson.
yes, yes.
That was the seminary
It-
before.
Oh, it was. It's
Oh,
a
yes.
very beautiful church.
Yeah,
It's
it
light
is.
blue.
And
Yes.
that is where we were married, by
Oh,
the way.
That's where
how
you were
nice.
married.
Yeah.
I really love that church.
Yes.
I actually almost got married there.
Really?
It wasn't available, but
Oh,
I
you should have
asked.
waited.
I asked in that place.
So the priest that married you there, he was Father
Father Jose Fernandez.
Jose Fernandez, right?
Yes, a
And
Spanish priest.
Spanish
Yes.
priest, who wanted to be the one to baptize your firstborn, which was Melanie,
Yes.
the beautiful
Yes.
Melanie.
So from the day you let her ride with you until when were you married? How long was that?
Well,
Until after.
actually, that incident happened before the war.
Uh-huh.
But then in January, the Japanese forces conquered, overrun the Philippines.
Yes.
And General MacArthur, as the history shows, had to go to Corregidor.
Uh-huh.
But then he was not, the armed forces, Philippines and Army were not ready to defend the Philippines. So when we were overrun, it was during the Japanese occupation that I fought her there.
Oh, you conquered her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
It's actually nice to talk to people who are actually
Experienced the
alive
Japanese
during
Yeah,
the war.
yeah.
Because I like to know stories about, because I can't really imagine how life
Life would have
is
been.
because it's different now.
No, Big Daddy had a story about the war. Like during the war, you said you had to stop school,
Studies, everything.
stop the studies and everything.
You mean everybody had to do that, or
Everything was at a stop.
okay? So you would just stay home.
Yeah.
Colleges,
Everything was
yeah,
at a stop.
businesses, everything
Was there
stopped.
television or only radio?
At the time, no.
No television. So
Nothing.
you would hear about news over the radio.
Yeah, that was the only means.
The Big Mommy, you had to walk from San Juan to Laguna. You were saying
Beg your pardon?
during the war, you had to walk, right? You had to walk. from,
Yeah. That was during our evacuation. We evacuated to our family, not him. Our family evacuated to Laguna, Liliw, Laguna. We were able to take the bus going to Liliw, Laguna. But when it was already open city,
Yes.
it meant that we can already come back to our houses.
In San
We
Juan.
could not find any transportation at all. We have to walk day in and day out. But at night, we have to knock in any houses.
Oh.
Can we stay here overnight?
So you mean when it was an open city, you were free. So from Liliw, Laguna,
Yeah.
you walked back to San Juan.
Yes, up to Binyang, Laguna,
Binyang,
I
Laguna.
think.
How many were you?
My mother, my father didn't go. My mother, my grandmother, grandfather, and all my brothers.
Oh, and how
Yeah.
old were you then?
Yeah. 3 brothers.
How old were you then, Big Mommy?
I was already at the women's. I was already taking up normal.
You were in
So you
college.
were-
I
a
was already in
teenager.
college. Yeah.
19?
Right.
19?
Yes.
19. When was
Yeah,
that?
so
I
some-
can't remember
maybe in
now.
your
I
teens.
was in high
And
school.
then, so you would knock in each door. Were the people afraid, or would they accept you to stay?
Yes, they were very kind. One time I remembered, they have no food. They have to catch frogs at the fields, frogs from the fields, and they were so nice,
What did it
like
taste
chicken.
Yeah, chicken. Yeah.
chicken.
You haven't tasted frogs?
No, and I'm not looking forward to.
No, it's
Yeah.
good. It's like chicken.
Yeah,
So
like
they would cook
chicken.
the frogs. Was
Yeah,
it a
very fresh.
delicacy? I mean, like, it was like common to eat frogs.
Yeah.
Sabong palaka.
Because
Yeah.
now you only have it as a specialty in a restaurant.
Yeah, you
Not
can
all-
order that. That's a delicacy.
Yes, and it's not very,
Yeah.
very cheap. I mean,
Yeah.
it's also expensive.
That was,
So you would eat frogs.
yeah.
So what else was like a lingering memory from the time of the war?
Yes, yes.
What's a lingering memory? Like when you think of the war, what's the first thing that comes to
Well,
mind?
When war was declared, Dean Benitez called us at the auditorium. She said, "Children, you have to go home." She said, "It is war." We didn't think of war as something serious.
You had no idea that it was going to be.
December 8, we were all planning to go to Pasig because it was fiesta in Pasig and they had lechon prepared for us.
Sayang the lechon.
Instead of going home, we went to Pasig to
Oh.
eat lechon, all of
Oh.
us, our gang. And then the mother of my friend said, "Oh, children, it's wartime. But we want to eat lechon. All right, you eat lechon and then go home."
So, wow.
And then you didn't really fear it because it was like something far away.
Yeah, we didn't think that war is that serious at all.
So what was it like? Was it like during the coup d'etat before? Was it like something in Makati that you couldn't really go out of your houses?
Going home, we saw the people at Taft Avenue. Oh my
Running,
God!
running.
Yeah, they were all
Yes.
frightened and.
And were there tanks? I mean, military all around?
That was already
Well,
during.
actually, when the Japanese started to invade, the planes
Yes.
of the Japanese started
To
dropping
bomb.
bombs.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, in fact, one bomb destroyed the bridge in San Juan, and that was only about half a kilometer from where we live.
Half a kilometer.
Wow. Right.
Yeah, so that was frightening because we heard the explosion.
And didn't you go near the plane after that happened?
No, that was,
That was a
another
separate
incident.
one. Oh.
You know, they called it dogfight.
Dogfight,
when Japanese and
Yes,
American
They
planes.
would watch that, yeah.
I think we
And
were
then
already married.
the
Yes.
American plane was shut down. And it was shut down not far from us. So, being kids, you know,
Yes.
we were curious because we saw the plane go down and the
Yeah.
pilot fall.
oh,
And we ran to the place because it was near.
yes,
We
yes.
ran to the place where he fell. And the only thing we saw is his thumb.
Really?
Well, I think that was
It
the
was
only.
his thumb.
Yeah, because his body was just
Yeah.
blown apart.
And this was not far from where you were living, right?
No, about maybe a kilometer.
A kilometer.
If I were young, I would also run to the scene
Me
and
too.
look at it.
Well,
And
he
look.
did not just run to the scene. What did you do, Big Daddy? Tell the people out there what you did when you went to the plane and you saw the thumb.
Yeah.
What did you do with the thumb?
I felt, I felt compassion. I got it.
You got the
Got it.
thumb.
Yeah, and you took it
You
home.
took it with your hands.
Yeah.
And then,
I brought it home and then I said, look, a
I
thumb of
bought
the
it.
American pilot.
He felt so
There-
sorry for the
There was no
thing
bone
there.
inside.
No bone.
oh my gosh.
It was just the flesh.
Oh my gosh.
And the nails.
Okay, let me try to feel. So there was no bone. What did you do with it when you brought it home?
Trophy.
Really?
You should have
Showed
kept it now. I mean, that we could have put it in the museum, right?
Okay, you
Yeah.
would go to the site. Would you pick up a thumb?
I don't know. I don't know. I know I would go, but maybe not the body part. Probably
Yeah.
something else. Would you pick up a thumb?
No, maybe I'd get the jewelry. No, I
Yeah.
don't know if I don't know, maybe, but really. And you were showing it to everybody.
Did they get scared
Yeah.
when you showed them the thumb?
No,
No one was scared.
no, in fact, I don't know, it's a strange feeling as a child.
Yes.
It was more an excitement rather than feeling
Fear.
compassion for the
How,
poor
how
fellow.
old were you at this time? It was
Oh, I was not really a child, I was a teenager.
Teenager, yes.
Around 17.
How old did you get married?
18.
Around.
When we
16.
got married, I was 19, she was 20.
Right.
Wow.
Year older.
So early.
So
And then you stayed together. So how long did the war last?
4 years approximately.
4 years.
Approximately,
So
yeah.
what about classes?
A big one?
How about your school?
Schooling.
Did you go back?
Oh, no. I think that in the 4 years that the Japanese occupied the Philippines,
Yes.
after the second year, they started to try to restore things into normalcy.
Yes.
And so they start opening universities and schools.
Run by the Japanese?
No, the Filipino.
Yes.
Oh, the Filipinos
Yeah.
tried to restore.
Yeah.
The American Army also.
The American Army as
The
well.
American Army.
Yes.
So it was safe after 2 years, or after how long was it safe to go out into the streets?
Oh well, when the Japanese overran the Philippines and they captured the American soldiers, a few months later we were able to try to go out.
A few months. Okay.
Incidentally, the guy, the priest who married Big Mom and Big Dad,
Yeah.
he was a Spaniard. He wanted to be the one to baptize their firstborn,
Yes.
which is Melanie, but it didn't happen because
He was beheaded.
He was beheaded. The
The
priest was
Spanish
beheaded.
priest was beheaded
By the Japanese.
All these priests there in
Japanese.
San
How
Marcelino.
dare.
All the priests were beheaded
Yeah,
by the
soldiers.
Japanese.
Even the hermanos, those serving,
Even the
they were all
hermanos.
beheaded.
Were they beheaded together?
We don't really know, but because they were living in a what you call convento,
Right.
Yes.
We are living in San
which
Juan.
is beside the church.
Yes.
We have no.
And we only
Did you
knew
witness-
about it, second hand. In other
Right.
Aw.
So you didn't witness any first-hand Japanese brutality.
words.
Japanese brutality. You know how they used to like get the babies and like kill them in the bayonet.
And you saw
I know
that?
firsthand. There was a movie star, Filipina,
Yes.
Corazon Noble,
Uh-huh.
at that time.
Friend at that time.
And she happened to be a friend of ours.
Right.
And she was in hospital. She just gave birth. And I don't know, I don't think the Japanese will want to hear this.
Yes.
But this is a story she gave to me.
Yes,
Right, firsthand.
And she was lying down and with the child that was newly born.
Right.
And then the probably not exactly pure Japanese, but
We don't know.
Taiwanese, I think, or anyway, that is what I was told. They were not the pure Japanese. They
Yes.
were the other soldiers that joined Japan.
Yes.
And this soldier, brutal, he grabbed the baby, threw it up in the air, and
And caught the baby with a
co-
sword?
yeah, with the bayonet, with the bayonet.
With the bayonet.
Oh my God. So her baby that she just gave
And
birth
then
to.
after doing that, he bayoneted Corazon Noble,
Oh my gosh.
and she was on her side
Yeah.
like that,
Yes.
and so she was able to
pierce her
avoid a
arm.
fatal wound, but she
Yes.
was wounded there
Yes.
and here on the sides.
Right. But she
And
lived.
she lived.
Oh yes, she showed me her wounds.
Oh my gosh.
She survived.
She
Oh my
survived.
God.
Gosh.
Man, they should get her on the show.
She's
Oh
a very
my-
well-known actress, Corazon
Oh.
Noble.
Wow.
During
Okay.
our time.
Well, we'll have that's
so
tragic. That is tragic. But we'll have more the lighter side. It's about being parents and grandparents when we come back from the break. So please don't go away because we'll get to know what it feels like to have grandchildren and great grandchildren, all 18 of them. Don't go away.
We're back on the She Said show at kasama rin po namin ang Big Mommy and Big Daddy, or Big Mom and Dad. They have been married for 65 years, something that I wish I would someday soon aspire for. Before that, we would like to give you some presents. We have some soap and hot chocolate from Classic Herbs Corporation. Thank you to Tita Lillian, Cora, Jay, and John.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and Big Daddy, you said you wanted to get paid, and Big Mommy, so this is your payment from R&M Dried Mangoes. You have dried pineapple, dried mango, and mandarin. Thank you to R&M Dried Mangoes.
Yes,
Francis
we would
Maliban
also.
Chow.
Yes, thank you. We would also like to thank SM Department Stores.
Thank
We
you,
got it
SM.
all for you. So
You
thank
got
you
it
for our
all.
clothes.
And thank you also to Tony and Guy, Gian, Wendell, TJ, and of course, Cherry.
Yes, Cherry.
Tere, yeah.
And Gian.
Yes.
And we'd also like to thank Mert Besa of Besas and Shimian Manila, Dr. Levi Lansangan and Dr. Anna Lansangan.
Thank you to Beverly Hills 6750.
Okay, so I would like to ask, before we continue your love story, I'd like to ask how you were called Big Mom and Big Dad.
Oh, this was on account of Cutie's elder brother.
Yes.
He's
Yes.
the first grandson.
Yeah, our first grandson.
Uh-huh.
And because we probably told him we don't like to be called grandpa or
Yes.
grandma. So I said, Big Dad, Big Mom.
Because he had a mom and dad, and you were also there together.
Yeah, he gets confused with his dad, calling his dad dad, and then dad. So I think Lani said the other one is big dad, big mom, small mom, the regular mom, and the dad.
So you mean they call your, he calls your mom and dad small mom and small
No,
dad?
he just saw them and he goes to my mom. So you're my small mom and you're my big mom. And
Yeah.
so she
That
became
stuck.
big mom,
Big
he
mom,
became big dad,
big
and then
dad.
all the other grandchildren followed suit
Yeah.
and great
Big
grandchildren.
mom, big dad.
So,
So until now, you're called Big Mom
Big
and
Mom,
Big,
Big
Dad.
Dad.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I like that.
that's nice, right?
So maybe
original.
when we're grandparents, you can just call me Big Mom and Big Dad.
Right.
Yeah. Surprisingly, one time when we were around the shops here
Yes.
in Manila, we saw Big Mom, Big Dad.
A restaurant.
A shop,
Oh,
A
maybe?
restaurant.
A
yeah.
restaurant.
Wow.
Something like that.
So did you
I
have
think
your
our
picture
store.
taken in the restaurant?
No, it was not actually referring to us. They just used the same phrase.
But do
Yeah.
your friends ask you why your grandchildren call you? Of course, in Sydney, where they live in Sydney, so they big mom, big mom,
Big mom
big
and
dad,
big dad.
big dad. So do your friends ever ask you why your grandchildren call you big mom and big dad?
Yeah, we explained to them.
Right.
Okay, so you're from Sydney. What is Sydney like? What is life in Sydney like?
Beautiful.
What do you do
I
like during a day?
I think Sydney is one of the most beautiful cities in the world.
Yes, I haven't been there though.
I'm able to
time
say
to go.
that because we have been able to travel to Europe
Yes.
and Asia
Yes.
and some capital cities, and I still consider Sydney
Sydney.
to be
Yeah.
the most
Beautiful.
beautiful city.
What makes it beautiful for you?
The opera house for one,
Opera
and
house.
then the waterways, the harbor bridge,
Yes.
and I think the beaches particularly.
How far are the beaches? Like if you would want to go out of town?
From
Yeah.
our house, which is about maybe 25 to 30 kilometers, it only takes us about between 25 to 30 minutes.
Wow, okay. Ooh.
Yes.
But Bondi is quite far. Bondi, one of the best beaches in
Beaches?
Australia. It's quite.
How far is
yeah,
that? Like an
maybe
hour?
An hour.
1
yeah.
hour. Oh, that's not too far. That's just like
Bondi
Makati
Beach, yeah.
traffic.
Yeah. mhm.
Yeah, so in 1970, you decided to migrate to Australia. Whose decision was that? Was that yours, Big Dad, or was it Migaling's or Felici's idea?
Actually,
Yeah.
I did not want to leave in Manila because I have my group of friends.
Yes.
We are
And you're dancing?
Yeah, we're
You
living
never
in a
wanted to leave
beautiful
Manila.
compound, Philippine American compound.
Right?
Yeah,
That
we
was
are,
in San Juan?
Yeah, we have the nights and the waters. The Philippine women's.
So it was hard for you to leave
Organization?
Manila.
Yeah, with the organization of the church.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're very happy at the compound.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you can go to Australia, leave me alone.
And what did you
Mom.
say,
But
Big
then I
Dad?
have, when the time came, I have to go with them.
Why did you decide Australia? Because most of the people migrated to the United States, and
Yeah.
I was the only kid who had my grandparents in Australia.
Yes.
Why Australia? I mean, before living there, before having seen how beautiful it is, why was that the decision?
Well, we didn't know at first what Australia was like, and I happened to have a friend who lived in Canberra, in Australia,
Yes.
and somehow we got to talk about this, and I got interested, so I went to the Australian embassy, and I made inquiries about Australia and what the possibilities were for emigrating out of the Philippines and migrating to Australia.
But did you
And
think you were gonna stay there for a few years, try it out? If you didn't like it, come back to the Philippines? Or
No. Because at that time, the situation was already very bad.
Here in the
Martial law,
Philippines?
martial
Oh,
law.
yes.
Yeah. So he decided that he wants all the children to grow up in Australia or America or Canada. But then we found out that Canada was very cold. In the
Yes.
States, a bit crowded already. So he decided.
How
that
young
Australia-
was your youngest child at that
at
time?
that time, 8
Margie
years
was
old.
8,
Yeah,
wow.
Margie was 8. and her mom and the next one, they were already married. We wanted them all to come with us, but they cannot. They have their
Ah.
family